Hello and welcome back to Blackburn Museum, and we're going to have our final home front video is going to be looking at the role of the fire watcher. And as always, Adrian's brought masses of kit and he's going to talk you through all of that. But of course, on a personal note, this video is dedicated to Thomas Derbyshire, my granddad, who worked 6 days a week at Harbins Mill in Golborne, and then on top of that was a volunteer fire watcher. And yourself?
My grandfather as well, George Worrell, and he was a fire watcher in his street in Romley and fire watcher at the factory where they made batteries for submarines.
Oh, wow. Now, I'm just going to hand over to Adrian and learn about all this kit because I know nothing about this, other than my granddad was a fire watcher. So thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. For many people at the beginning of the Second World War, there was absolute fear. Magazines like this gave a terrifying image of what was going to happen to what felt like every suburban street. People had seen images of what had happened in Spain, and they were prepared from day one to face a terrific onslaught. Ordinary people had been forewarned for some time. Cigarette card manufacturers or cigarette manufacturers produce cards showing what to expect in the event of a raid, how to prepare and how to attempt to fight the firebomb menace. And that was the principal job of people that were going to become fire watchers. Everybody was expected to do something. A little booklet, again, produced by the government on manpower and lady power as well. And it was all about how this was going to become a people's war. And people from all walks of life and all parts of the British Empire as it was, were going to have to come together and put on uniform and take on roles other than their ordinary civilian life. Many, that would have meant joining the armed forces, but for thousands of people who that was not practical for, they could become a fire guard. You didn't get such a smart uniform as you would have done in the military, but you had a very personal and responsible job. You were protecting either your places of work or your own street. My grandfather was fire watcher on his own street, and we still have his daily rota and the list of where firefighting equipment would have been kept. The fire guards were trained. The ARP provided booklets for them, information and training, many different types of things on the different types of fire bombs they were likely to have to face. And this was the main culprit, which is the 1 kilo magnesium incendiary bomb. They strike, they set off a fire inside them with a thermite charge. That eventually, after about a minute, sets fire to the thick-walled magnesium case, which burns terrifically and ends up as a puddle of molten burning magnesium, and if unattended will drip through floorboards, not to mention setting light to anything in the room where it first ignites. So this was the thing. They weren't designed to explode, so they could be tackled by a very courageous individual. Equipment was provided for doing that. First of all, the rather famous stirrup pump. Although this would not put out the incendiary bomb, you would use it as a fine spray, and that would control the fire in the room in which this incendiary bomb had started firing, because it would undoubtedly have already started fires in that room. So you used the spray and the jet to control fires in the room, and then a very fine spray near the bomb to try and take the temperature down and to help the bomb burn out faster. To actually tackle the bomb itself, you were issued with 3 bits of kit. So you have a scoop, a rake, and a large metal bucket. And the idea was to put a bed of sand next to the burning incendiary bomb, then attach the rake to the shovel and to rake the incendiary bomb onto the bed of sand to stop it dripping through the floorboards, then to shovel more sand on top of the incendiary bomb, and once it had calmed down a little bit, you had a very special bucket, the Red Hill container. This would be slid out on the floor, and then the pool of sand mixed with the molten magnesium could be shoveled into the Red Hill container, and more sand put on top of it. It could then be safely carried out and dropped into a hole in the garden. This procedure had eventually to be changed because to counter this, later incendiary bombs, a few of them, were fitted with a small mini grenade in the base. So at any point during the burning and during the putting out procedure, it could explode and kill anyone that was near enough to be fighting the bomb fire. These were the official issued bits of kit, the scoop, the rake and the Red Hill container, but private purchase items were available. And my favourite of those is this item here, made by a company in Blackpool, and this was a grab your incendiary bomb device and hopefully run out of the house with it. Well, again, thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for all those people, my grandparents and many of others of your grandparents and great-great-grandparents who were fire watchers during the Second World War. Thank you very much.